Hello, this is Mrs. Sturgeon here to talk to you about how to solve an equation when it's this complicated looking, right? We've got some distributive property in here. There's going to be some combining like terms. There's a lot of steps. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about those steps. So anytime I have an equation like this, my personal preference is to start by using the distributive property wherever it comes up. So anytime you see those parentheses, let's go ahead and just jump right in and get rid of them. All right, so first thing, let's distribute this -4. Notice that I said -4. The minus sign in front of the 4 does go along with that 4. So you're not just distributing 4, you're distributing -4 to both terms. All right, so -4 times 1 is -4. And then -4 times -7x is going to be a positive 28x. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put my separating wall between both sides of the equal sign here. And then I need to bring down everything from the original equation that I didn't write yet. So -6x in the front. I've got my equal sign. I've got 7x minus 19. Okay, again, remember my goal is to get x by itself. So I want to essentially simplify this process by putting all of my x's together where they can be. So on the left side of the equal sign right now, I've got numerous x's. I've got -6x. I've got positive 28x. Those are like terms because of the fact that they're on the same side of the equal sign. It's very important. You cannot combine the 7x with those two x's because they're on separate sides of the equal sign. So all I'm going to do right now is put the -6x together with the 28x, and that will become positive 22x. Okay, the rest of it, we've got my -4, I'm bringing down my equal sign, 7x minus 19. Okay, next, my personal suggestion is to take all my x's and automatically move them to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and say, to bring this 7x to the left side of the equal sign, I need to subtract. So I'm going to go -7x. The reason I know I have to subtract, if it was -7x, I would add. Because it's positive, I need to subtract. So let's go -7x on both sides. Okay. So then I have to actually figure out what is 22 minus 7. So I get 15x minus 4, again, brought down from the original, equals -19. All right, now I'm almost there. I need to go ahead and add 4 to both sides. Remember, I'm trying to get x by itself. So at this point in the problem, I only have one set of x's, right? So this is the x that I'm trying to isolate. Okay, so I'm bringing the 4 away from it to the other side. So -19 plus 4 is -15. So I get 15x equals -15. Last step to get x by itself, anytime you have a number in front of x like this, they act like they're being multiplied, so I have to divide them up. So divide both sides by 15, you get x equals -1. All right, so let's do another example. So for this one, I'll start the same way. Let's go ahead and split the sides, right? So I've got my left side of the equal sign versus my right side of the equal sign. The first place I always like to start is wherever the parentheses are. If there's ever any distributing that needs to be done, I like to get it out of the way first. So let's go ahead and distribute. We've got -3 times 2 is -6. We've got -3 times -8r, which will be a positive 24r. And then bring down everything else. So the +5, the -1 minus 5r from the other side of the equal sign, just bring it all down with it. Okay, after that, I look to see, are there any like terms on either side of the equal sign that I can put together? Okay, notice on the right side of the equal sign, I have a -6 and a +5. Okay, those can be combined. So because of the fact that they're on the right side of the equal sign together, I will go ahead and combine them. So I get -6 plus 5 is a -1. So it becomes -1 plus 24r. And then let's bring down the left side, so -1 minus 5r. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and try to get my r's to the same side of the equal sign. So to be consistent with last time, let's bring them over to the left, to the left, to the left. So subtract 24r from both sides. Because of the fact that it's positive 24, we need to subtract to undo. All right, so these will go away. Now I've got negative 5r minus 24r. That's going to get me a negative 29r. Bring down the negative 1 that was in front, and bring down the negative 1 from the other side. Next step, let's add 1 to both sides. So I get negative 29r equals negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't solve the problem. You can actually go ahead and finish this. Now divide both sides by a negative 29. 0 divided by anything is just 0. So for this one, r equals 0. Anytime you want to check to see if you're doing this right, feel free to go ahead and plug it back in. But for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and assume that we're right. Let's do one more quick example. Okay, so for this one, again, find the parentheses. Let's get rid of them. Anytime you have a minus sign without any numbers written, we're going to assume it's a negative 1. All right, so this becomes negative 1, distribute to both of my terms. Negative 1 times negative 3k is positive 3k. Negative 1 times a negative 2 is a positive 2. And then bring down everything else like we did for all the other examples. Plus 7k, then we've got a 14 plus 8k. All right, so now I'm searching. Are there any like terms on the same side of the equal sign that I can put together? And yes, there is. On the left, I've got 7k and 3k. Let's put those together to make 10k. Plus 2 equals 14 plus 8k. I just brought down all the terms that I didn't mess with. All right, next, let's get the k's to the same side of the equal sign. Subtract 8k from both sides. All right, so 2k plus 2 equals 14. Almost there. Now I only have 1k left to isolate, so I need to subtract 2 from both sides, start moving terms away from the k. So I get 2k equals positive 12. Divide both sides by 2. K is equal to 6.